Hi, I'm Neil Sackmary.
Hi, I'm State Trooper Sean Hagstrom with the Nevada State Police Highway Patrol Division, PEIO. Please stay tuned for the next episode of Trooper Talk.
And together, we can make a difference. Here we are live at the 360 Vegas studios with this edition of Trooper Talk. You might recognize the gentleman on the ends, but the gentleman in the middle, he's been here many times. Sure. He came here on the 150th show. He comes here on the 200th show. A great friend of the show. And we appreciate every time that you come because you provide such a helpful insight, because so many people are in your area now driving on these roadways from Mesquite and Pahrump and all this type of stuff that, there's speeds, and these people need to know that there's somebody there watching. Please introduce yourself.
Yes, I'm Sergeant Chakowski. Thanks, Neil, by the way. Sergeant Chakowski. I'm currently assigned to the Primm District, and then also like motors as well.
Your cars, and we're going to get into that right from the recruiting standpoint, your cars are very sophisticated pieces of equipment. And the state gives you the very best, and I'm going to take your words, the very best equipment, right? So you have rear radar, okay? It's not a secret. You have front radar. It's not a secret. Other things that you have in your cars that only you guys know about, you know what I'm saying, is what you guys know about, but for the general motoring public, they have to be aware that these things are there. So when you're driving up at 120 and you pull up, behind them, they've already got you. And so you drive the Mustang, so do you. But, people want to play. We live in the valley where people want to. It doesn't matter what you do, and so people have to know that the Nevada State Police is there. On top of which, I want to get to the fact that we just had a fatal crash on the motorcycle this last week that I saw in the newspaper. And so when it is that you are on a motorcycle, just like you said, you have to always be looking. When you're going at these speeds, we only hope that something doesn't bad happen. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
And
you know what? We've talked about this in the past too. I get some people want to, young men, they want to go and do that speed and have fun, right, and all that. But these are people that are doing day in, day out, and they're just playing the odds because you know what? It takes just one crash, one incident, just a small incident, and you lose your life. Because we're talking speeds over 100 miles an hour. It doesn't matter if you have full motorcycle gear or helmet on or whatever. When you get ejected from that motorcycle or you crash into a rear end of a vehicle, which we've had several of those, especially last year, where they just ran, they're in and out of traffic, and then somebody slows down or something, and they're right in the rear. You're not gonna. It's unsurvivable. And what they're doing is they're just playing the odds in and out. And sooner or later, if you do it long enough, it's going to happen to you, unfortunately. And we don't want to do that, and that's why we're on the show to educate people that you need to be mindful to others, because it might not just be you that you kill. You might kill a family. You might get ejected into a windshield and take out a mom and their kids, or create another crash behind it, which could be even more severe and cause another fatal for somebody else. So that's why we always tell everybody we want you to slow down. We're going to talk a little bit later on this show about lane splitting, how it's illegal and everything. And we're going to go into that too, because most of this show is going to be about motorcycles and speed, lane splitting, and the weather's getting nicer now, Neil. So now we're going to have more people out and about on their motorcycles. We're going to see this in through September, October, November. It's like perfect riding for motorcycles. So I wanted to hit this program with the motorcycles, because we don't want to see these fatal crashes. One's too many. So if we can get the word out and have people slow down, and he said it perfectly, and we just did a video the other day, the motorcycle drivers have to drive defensively. They always have to look around everybody that surrounds them to make sure that they can avoid that, avoid a crash or debris on the roadway or whatever comes about. So They really have to drive defensively, and the cars really need to slow down and start paying attention to everybody else. They can't just be in their own world and have their music going and just see the front end of their car. They got to look above and beyond, 5 or 6 car lengths to see what's actually going ahead, instead of just driving like a crazed person in and out of traffic, almost causing crashes or possibly injuring themselves or others.
Yeah, and so reckless driving, okay? Let's sort of talk about that, you know what I mean, so that people are well aware, right? So we always talk about the points on the license, right? And people go, I don't care about the points. I'll get a lawyer and he'll get the points knocked down. Okay, fine, no problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can spend your money, you can do all these type of things. But when it comes to reckless driving and the speeding and these type of activities, they could be an arrestable offense. And at that point, jail is not fun. What people have to know is that the Nevada State Police is there. The Nevada State Police is there to ensure that the motoring public is doing what they're supposed to do. And so you're not there to bother people. You're not there to make someone's day even worse, that maybe they're already having a bad day. No. But just like the sergeant said, he's traveling home, right? Like, so he worked all day and then he's traveling home. And so Nevada State Police, unmarked or marked in a car or whatever, you still travel to your home after work, which means that you travel the roadways. And so there are a lot of things that people do on the highways and the roadways and all that. And Nevada State Police is there. And that's one of the reasons as well that we need more people to apply, to go through the recruiting process, right? Because we know that as many people as you recruit that go to the academy, unfortunately, not everyone passes. And so that's why we need as many people as we can doing all these things, right?
Yeah, the more people that we have out on the road, the safer that our roadways would be. Out on the highways, if we had more people, we'd have less fatals. Obviously, we'd be able to stop more speeding vehicles. We'd be able to stop more reckless vehicles, more DUIs to get off the roadways in the middle of the night, in the middle of the day. But as well as going home at the end of the day, I also travel, like I said the last show, I traveled through technically three jurisdictions to get home. So knowing the jurisdictions that you're working and whatnot, that's something that's taught during training and whatnot. But yes, we need people that want to come and make a difference in the community and in themselves, right? You're going to grow as a person throughout your career, and you're going to grow and learn how to be a proficient trooper or state officer. So yes, we need as many people as we can get to help make the roadways safer and to help keep our communities safe, because it's important, right? It's a great thing that our fatals are down this year, but like Trooper Hackstrom said, 1 is too many, and we were trying to get to 0 for the entire year. So the more people that we have, the better that our roadways can be for everybody to be out on.
And it's really fantastic that people see these. You know what I mean? That they see the motorcycles and all that type of stuff. I love the picture on the far right. You know what I mean? I'm very upset that Johnny took himself out. You know what I'm saying? But here's what I'm going to tell you. We appreciate that you always came and brought the motorcycles on. You know what I'm saying? And people get very excited, and they, when they see what they are, and they know that they're out there performing the duties. And so it's really fantastic, and I love seeing all these pictures. All right, I just want to keep talking, but I have to keep showing more pictures. You know what I'm saying? It sucks.
He's like, come on, let's go.
Yeah, no, this is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Hopefully we're going to get time at the end. We can just sit here and talk. All right. So let me ask you guys a question. The speed limit on our roadways, on the highways, right? Okay. So going out to Boulder City, I think it's like 70 miles an hour or something like that, right? But is it 60?
That's probably it's still 65.
65.
Then,
okay.
And then when they get on the road to go to Laughlin, that turns to 70.
70. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. But it's 65 still. To
65.
Yep.
Yeah. And so in Prim, the speed limit is 65.
Yes, and then like I mentioned, we have a lot of construction that's starting to go on, so it also drops down to 55.
55. And if someone gets in trouble in the construction zone, you always see those orange signs that everybody ignores that says double the fine in the construction zone, right? So people have to be aware of that. And so what I see here is 117 miles an hour on a car that the tires are rated for probably 85 or 90 miles an hour because they're not speed tires, okay? And so forgetting the car, forgetting that the person behind it could be the greatest race car driver in the entire world. You know what I'm saying? They are putting people at risk because in order to go at 117 or 108 miles an hour, and I'm looking at these cars, I mean, there's cars here. It's not like, not that it makes any difference, but it's not at 5 o'clock in the morning when there's 3 cars on the road. Yeah. And so speeding is speeding, but what people have to know is that these speeds are real speeds. This isn't doctored things. This isn't because we just decided to do things. No, these are real pictures that were taken from real speeders that are going almost double the speed limit.
And this is just during the weekday. Weekends, you see these speeds quite a bit, right? Down in the Prim area, over hundreds. And this is where we really, fortunately, we have troopers down there able to crack down on that. Because one blowout, you get off the side of the road with a soft, the soft sandy dirt. I always tell people, and you try to, you start going in that, you get in off the roadway into that dirt area, and you try to turn your wheels, that 5,000 or 3,000 pound car with furrows into the dirt because you can't stop that car. You know what I mean? It's going one way, even though you turn that wheels. Once you start turning those wheels, it's a rollover every time. And now we're dealing with a rollover crash. If it's a severe injuries, if they do not end up dying from that, we have to land a helo close by a lot of people are transported by Mercier or whatever, so we have to shut down the highway. And you know how everybody from California and everybody's leaving from Vegas, coming in from California, how that ties up our interstates. Because now, whether it's 30 minutes or 45 minutes to get the helo down, they got to make sure that person's stable before they get them on the helicopter to fly them back out. It takes time. And once that half an hour leg goes, you got traffic backed up forever. And people start getting upset and everything else, but that's due to speed. And 2 of our biggest contributing factors in Nevada for fatals, which I always bring up, is speed and impairment. And that's an issue that we have here in Nevada, and that's why our troopers are dedicated and always working hard, no matter what shift it is, to get these people off the road, or at least to educate them on their driving.
Hopefully we can stop one person that isn't going to get pulled over today because they're not going to be doing speeding. You know what I mean? And so it means so much, and I still think every time I look at you, I think of you with the mustache and the and the hat, and you know what I mean, and all that type of stuff. Yeah. And it's very cool because most people don't know, but you were involved with the Trooper Talk in the very, very beginning when we brought the motorcycle and stuff like that on. So anyway, thank you very much for coming. I appreciate it. What do you think of that? Right. I know. Well, this is what happens when you come on.
Yeah.
All right. We'll wave right there. Okay. See you later.
Bye, guys.